right, welcome into the latest edition of the Walkout, presented by Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati. I'm Paul Ayner Jr. here in Buffalo. Jay Morrison back in the Cincinnati homestead on a day where the Buffalo Bills hand the Bengals another heartbreaking defeat, this time 39-34 in the snow globe at Highmark Stadium. It was familiar. It was one of those where Joe Burrow looked like he was doing it. He was authoring another chapter of the Joe Burrow legend. And then the Bengals fall apart, as we've seen happen too many times this year. 2 interceptions, a number of big plays where the defense couldn't get a stop. Jay, do you have a song for me to wrap up this one?
I do. It's from the duo Johnny and Jack. It goes all the way back to 1973, and it's something that was kind of like an audible shrug from Joe Burrow when he was talking about this, and he said it twice in his post-game press conference. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Oh, and it has crumbled. Let's play it.
It's the Walkout with Paul and Jay, with red hot stories from post-game, interviews, analysis, to spend the hour right here at the Growler.
All right, welcome back into the Walkout, presented by Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati. We are going to run through all of it from this game, and eventful day here in Buffalo. We're going to talk about how they have let another one slip away, and what was started off like a day that felt very reminiscent of a game the last time we were here. It was snowy, and the Bengals were not being stopped. They were asserting their will. They went out to a big lead. It felt like that playoff game, and then it felt different. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the 2 plays. You're going to hear from Joe Burrow, from Zac Taylor, from Jamar Chase, specifically about the pick 6 that changed this game and how everything flipped on its head after that. Your Joseph Toyota drive of the game. We're going to talk about the first 3 drives and what felt like a special day for this Bengals offense and team. We'll have some news, some injuries, there's suspensions, there's records, all of that stuff coming your way. We'll talk about what is next. Before we get to that, though, Bengals fans, you know how the best teams are built. It's not luck. It's not picking a person because they fit the mold on paper. It's about having the right people in the right roles at the right time. And that's exactly how Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati runs their dealership. They're built with a roster full of pros, people who actually know their positions. They're never out of place. The sales team are straight shooters. The finance department are total professionals. The service department are technicians. Everyone is working together toward one goal, giving you an upfront, honest, and transparent car buying experience. So if you're looking for a new Camry, a versatile RAV4, a tough Tundra ready to haul your game day gear, you'll see how that teamwork pays off. There's no gimmicks, just a crew that knows how to execute the game plan. So when it's time for service, you know their techs are going to keep things running smooth, kind of like an offensive line that never misses an assignment. So if you're ready for a dealership built like a contender, head over to Joseph Toyota of Cincinnati, right off Colerain Avenue, or online anytime at josephtoyota.com. Okay, Jay, let's sort of talk about the perspective on this game. The Bengals had this game being played the way that they wanted it played. I mean, they were doing everything. They took the ball. They wanted to get the lead. They wanted to force the Bills to not feel as comfortable running it, where they were going to have probably some success, and put the team away that way and run it out. And they were doing it. They were doing it to perfection. They go up. They're up 20. They score 21 points in the first 3 drives. They're up 10 after maybe the most ideal drive you could imagine. 12 plays, 80 yards. They get a touchdown to Gesicki, and they're up 10 with midway through the 4th quarter. Everything was sitting the way that you would want it. You couldn't draw it up better than a way to go into Buffalo and win. And then the new Bengals showed up. The defense fell apart. Burrow throws 2 interceptions, one of them a wild play by Christian Benford, incredible play by him. And it all falls apart, and they lose again and have to wonder what could have been. It's the story of the last 2 years, Jay. What could have been for this team. You felt them coming. Everybody was back together. It's T and it's Chase, and here they come. They can make this run. This feels like a team that no one in the AFC wants to see. What could have been, because it all fell apart.
Yeah, I feel like the defense fell apart much earlier. I mean, they struggled throughout, and a really great play by DJ Turner to rip the ball out from James Cook, the turnover on the goal line. They held him. Yeah, they had a red zone possession. They held to a field goal. But other than that, there a lot. I mean, the same old story, just tight ends running wide open. And it wasn't Dalton Kincaid, the one they were afraid of. It was Dawson Knox. Kind of like last week when everybody thought it was going to be a Mark Andrews game, and Isaiah Likely just ripped him up. So from that standpoint, it felt like they were just hanging on with the defense. But you're right, the offense was right there, and they came in, and those drives they weren't easy. I mean, they faced a lot of third downs, and they were 3rd and 11. They were 3rd and 6. I think there was one 3rd and 1. I mean, I thought it was a really good game plan and a really well executed game plan. And you're right, everything was going their way. And you look back, and that drive when they got the ball back right before halftime, and you're like, oh, they could really put some distance here. And the scramble play where Joe was so good, he just overthrows T by a little bit. There was just so many times in that game you could go back and look at. And Burrow, you had mentioned that they left a couple out there, but the pick six, obviously, that's where it fell apart. And I don't know, it felt like it was there for them. And even after the pick six, it's like, okay, well, Burrow's gonna be pissed. He's gonna come back from that throwing that. He's gonna hate himself for making that throw. And the very next throw reminded me of Chicago when he threw interceptions. I think it was 3 straight pass attempts in that Chicago game back in 2021. There's no coming back from that.
No, and you end up with, it's funny. You're talking about the tight ends. The tight ends combined for the Bills, 11 receptions, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Same old. I talked to Jordan Battle about it after the game, just like, what is OCs are coming in planning. I mean, first play of the game was a play designed to get the tight end open. It's wide open for a chunk. It's just they see it all week. You watch it like this is easy. What it must be like to be an offensive coordinator, and just think about all the ways you can draw up ways to get the tight ends involved. And that's what it ends up being. And running backs really too, for that matter. Who's the Bills punter? I don't know who he is. There's no reason to know.
He was hanging out with Jermaine Burton today.
You don't know who the punter is because they couldn't, they force a fumble. There were a couple, they had got a 4th down, a turnover on downs, never forced a punt, couldn't stop a tight end. Josh Allen letting him just run loose. It's the same stuff over and over again. The defense that you hoped and felt maybe it turned a corner. And so much of this is on those 2 picks, and we'll talk more about that. And they are put in bad spots because of that. But 34 should still be enough. Like, I don't care. 34 should still be enough. You should be able to force a punt or 2. And they just couldn't. And Josh Allen's great, man. Dude made plays. He's the MVP for a reason. Like, he's an incredible player. But it's the same old thing. It is a chance for us to re-rack everyone's favorite stat, Jay. What is the Bengals' record in games when they score at least 33 points? Well, the rest of the NFL since the start of the 2024 season is 136-10-2. The Cincinnati Bengals are 4-7. Unbelievable. This is them.
Yeah.
In their moment of the season where it felt like they might be able to come back, where you can see them being this super dangerous team that can chase down the Steelers and make that run and scare the hell out of everyone in the playoffs. They can't stop a soul. They can't stop Josh Allen on 3rd and 15 from just running for it. They can't leave him but wide open, untouched, no one within an acre of him for a 40-yard run. It's who they are. It's 4th downs, 2 4th down touchdowns. Make the play. Make a play in a big spot. They couldn't do it. They haven't done it for 2 years. This is who you are. this is who this team is. And you felt like maybe they were turning the corner, but what would they look like against an elite offense in Josh Allen? And they looked like the same team that they kind of have been for the majority of this year and last year.
Yeah, and it's what's crazy is they talked about it all week that you have to be disciplined in your rush lanes and you can't get too far up the field because Josh Allen will tuck it and take off. And I mean, we saw it on the 40-yard touchdown, the longest touchdown run of his career. Thanks, Bengals, for that. And then the third and 15, and he gets 18. They just run right by him. I don't know if just everything they learned during the week just goes out the window and they just pin their ears back, as they say, and say, I'm just going to get there. There was a play too where maybe it was the 40-yard touchdown or maybe it was earlier, but Miles Murphy dipped inside and left the outside wide open. Like, how do you just decide, okay, I'm gonna try this and move inside, knowing you can't do that against this guy? And it's the same with tackling, where they tackle wrapping up all the time. They practice it, and then guys still go out and just try to throw shoulders and knock guys down. I don't know where the disconnect is. It's being taught properly, and then they get on the field on game day, and it just all goes out the window.
Asked Joe Burrow after the game sort of about his perspective on yet another game where they score 34 and lose. And again, the caveat on he's obviously has fault in this. The interceptions are the interceptions, and they change things. But was curious what he thought about that. Here's Joe Burrow answering that question after the game.
This is like a lot of games you guys have been in, shootouts where you come and you score a bunch of points and you don't get there. How do you handle mentally being in so many of these where 34 isn't enough?
Yeah, I mean, that might have. I think I've matured this year and gained some perspective on everything when I was out, and I'm just grateful to be out there and be able to be a quarterback in the NFL and be one of the best. I don't take that for granted, and I work really hard to, like I said, put myself in a position to do that, just like everybody else in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm a player, and I'm going to go and try to play as good as I can and see where we're at.
What'd you make of Burrow's demeanor in postgame?
It's a little flippant. And then he kept getting questions about T's toughness, and he was joking around a little bit about his bounce back game and that type of thing. I think part of that is it. Like, he knew this hill was going to be hard to climb. He knew, especially because he asked the reporters who won between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. When he was told Pittsburgh, he's like, well, that makes it harder. It almost felt like he was resigned to the fact that, okay, it's over, and I'm just going to go out and have fun and see what he's like, I said I'm a football player. I'm going to play no matter what if I'm healthy. And that's what these last 4 games are going to be is, all the pressure's off now. Just go out and I think he even said it, go out and put on a show.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned at the top, there was this whole, it's just the way the cookie crumbled, a very resigned nature of, when you play in enough of these games and you do this over and over again, where no matter how many plays, no matter how dominant you are, you're sitting here and you're digesting a terrible loss, it beats you down. Some have called that being Bengalized over the years. And I'm not going to say that Joe sounded or looked Bengalized necessarily, but you felt it. This resigned nature of like, man, I'm just going to go play my best. I can't control everything else that's happening around me. Like, defense can't get it. We don't know who the punter is for the other team. We can't get that. 34 can't be enough. Over and over again, 4 and 7 in games where we score 33. I'm just going to go do my best. There's only so much that I can. There's a very resigned nature. And maybe that is for the perspective. Like he talked about the perspective from being out and appreciating being out there and playing, and what a cool atmosphere to be a part of it. And you're not going to win them all. But like, that is a change. He admitted that's a change. Like this isn't, this stuff would eat him up. He'd be mad about it. And that perspective is good. But it's also one where it's like, man, you feel the edge being taken away in some ways just by the nature of how exhausting this must be to have to continually digest losses like this.
Yeah, because normally you would turn the page forward right away and start thinking about the next game and maybe stew a little bit. And part of it too was the pick six was and you guys are going to hear that in a little bit, it was just an incredible play by Christian Benford. It wasn't a huge mistake by Burrow. It was just one of those things where, like he said, it is what it is. Shit happens. That's the way the cookie crumbles, however you want to say it. It does. There was just a resignation there. And I think part of it was, one, knowing that the playoffs are as slim as they were there. It's pretty much done now. And part of it too is the defense isn't going to get any better this year. And no matter what they do, that defense, the offense can get better. They can take care of some of these mistakes and turnovers, do some things better. The defense, it looked like they were going to get better. And then today just brought it back. And it was, like I said, a resignation that they are who they are on that side of the ball.
The Bengals offensively, I mean, we're just converting every third down, 7 of 7 at one point. Jay, do you have some stats for me on teams that have the kind of success that they had in a couple areas today?
Yeah, so like play stats only go back to 1991, but we're still talking about 35 seasons here. The Bengals finished 10 of 12 on third down. 83.3% is a franchise record since 1991. Teams that have converted 83.3% of their third downs and scored 34 points. Just the 7th time since 1991 this has happened. The other 6 were all wins. The Chiefs in 2021, the Seahawks in 12, Saints in 08, Rams in 2000, and then 2 teams, the Bills and the Vikings in 1991. It just doesn't happen. Just 83.3% alone. Forget about how many points you scored. It's only happened 10 times since 1991, and those teams were 8-2. I mean, that you can't ask for anything more. I thought it was a great game plan, and like I said before, well executed. They did everything right. The Benford play it's different because it's a blitz, but it reminded me of J.J. Watt against Andy Dalton in the 2011 playoff game. It reminded me of T.J. Watt doing it to Burrow in the opener in 2022. Just one of those plays where you never expect that to happen, and then for it to go the other way, just a crushing blow.
Yep. We'll get into those 2 plays here momentarily. I do want to remind everybody the next game is at home on Sunday against the Ravens, and we will be back. We will be back at BetMGM down at the Banks at 10 a.m. Before that game, we'll be down there for an hour. It's our Christmas show. We are going to be giving away. I'm doing it. We're doing $1,000 in those giveaways. Tickets. There's going to be Graders shippers. There's going to be jerseys. There's going to be merchandise. BetMGM is throwing in some special items for this one. We are giving away all kinds of stuff. It's our way of saying thank you to you guys. So if you have time, come on down 10 o'clock at BetMGM for our Christmas show. We'll be talking about the game. We'll have exclusive parlay boosts and all the stuff that we normally do down at BetMGM, but we'll also be doing all of these giveaways, and including you can win tickets to the next home game after that, which would be the Cardinals game. So hope to see you guys all down there, and it's going to be a ton of fun. We keep having fun, even if you feel like the Bengals are sapping some of the fun from your days. Let's get into those 2 plays that really changed this game. And the first one being the pick 6 by Christian Benford, and then the next one ends up being a ball tipped up into the air and intercepted by AJ Panessa. So you're going to hear from Zac Taylor, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase, all kind of breaking down their views on the plays that changed this game.
In the pick 6, is that something that on that play is something that you're nervous about, corner coming off the edge, or the dynamics of the pick 6?
It's kind of for the corner coming off the edge, and he made a great play. He had great awareness. It's very rare that you see a guy have that awareness the way that we were attacking there and make a play like that. So, Benford, great play by him.
For the pick 6, you guys are driving. You try to kind of put maybe a double-digit lead up. Did you feel like you had the game playing it the way you wanted to in that moment before those 2?
Yeah, we're in a great spot, and I thought, 47 just made an outstanding play. That's a big-time play in this league. He's playing with a lot of confidence. You don't see a lot of guys be able to make that, and he did it, and credit to him.
Are there any coaching points on the pick 6 and then the tipped interception
No, if he's got awareness, both of them. I mean, if the defense has great awareness and they're great players, then they're capable of making those plays.
Yeah, great plays by them. Corner blitz, and trying to throw a hot reaction, and the guy jumps up and catches it. Great play. Next one, tip ball, lands right in that guy's hands. So, yeah, good plays by that.
Is there anything you could have done differently on that Denver?
Could have thrown it higher, I guess, but the linebacker was running out there underneath of it. So if I threw it higher, he might have gotten involved too. Not really. That was our reaction to that.
Lamar, let's start with the pick six was one of the bigger plays of the game. Is that just a risk on that play that if a guy makes a great play like that, there's just you tip your cap and you say great play and move on?
Yeah, pretty much great play call by them. First time doing a safety blitz on my side the whole game. Pretty much just show Cloud the whole game when inside leverage, so good play by them.
And how difficult is it, because then they come back with another interception, to take that kind of a body blow and still try to finish a game with a win?
Just another good play by D-line getting their hands on and making an impact on the play.
You hear Jamar there saying it's the only time they brought that kind of blitz from over top of him all game. It obviously surprised them, surprised Burrow. And even then, not necessarily a play that you expect the corner to be able to make coming off of that. It's when you're in these kind of games, man, we talked about it on the prediction show, Jay, like it was going to be about turnovers. Those turnovers had dogged the Bills all season, and it seemed like the critical turnover had happened when you had James Cook fumbling in the end zone and they go the other way on that long. It was like, oh, okay, that was the play that was going to change everything. DJ Turner dropped what could have been an interception. Jordan Battle dropped what could have been an interception. What would have been good plays you got to make. The other team makes them. The Bengals didn't. The end. That's how you lose games.
Yeah, the Cook fumble too at the goal line that ended up being just a fumble and a holding penalty. If it goes just over the pylon, that's a touchback. It's a Bengals ball. I don't know that the play. I wonder. I mean, first of all, it kind of goes to what Burrow is so good at, is reading and reacting. And like Jamar said, they hadn't done that all game, but Burrow anticipated it, and that's quarterbacking 101. If you know where the blitz is coming from, you throw at the blitz. You throw into that vacancy. Maybe in a different situation, he dirts the ball. It was 1st and 10, but he felt he could get it up over him. When you watch that replay, because he talked about if he threw it even higher, the linebacker, I think it was Milano. I was thinking even if he gets that over Benford, maybe Milano comes over and picks it off too, because it was just kind of a floater. It almost looked like it slipped out of his hand. It was such a high arcing we don't see him throw those kind of passes or take those kind of chances. You don't see those kind of corner blitzes a lot, so that's probably part of it. But it still felt as huge of a momentum turn as that was. It still felt, with how good they had been playing offensively, they could get the ball back and go down and maybe get a score and take the lead back. And then just to have the batted ball, the second interception, that was a big problem with him early in his career. And it seems like he had worked that out. Like he wasn't getting as many balls batted down, and it cropped up at the worst possible time. I mean, back-to-back throws or picks, and against a team like that. And like I said it earlier, they almost did, but there's really no coming back from that.
Yeah, there is no coming back from that. They didn't, and they almost did. You're right. I mean, they almost did. 3rd and 15.
Yep.
And out goes Josh Allen. And Jordan, why was there not a spy? It looked like that was the play call. I haven't gone through what Sean McDermott had to say after this one, but it felt like that 3rd and 15 was a design Josh Allen run, which makes sense because they wanted to see maybe they can get him out and free and try to do something. But also they needed to run that clock with the Bengals out of timeouts and 150 left. Looked like a design run. He gets out and he gets free. And Geno Stone one-on-one in space. How many Bengals fans thought that tackle was happening? I mean, that's not his game. That's not the spot you want him in. That's not the spot you want many people in against Josh Allen. There was no spy. it appeared, on Josh Allen on that play, which I think is, where that play dies, essentially, not having some kind of eyes on Josh Allen in that type of a spot. But you're still there. They said they were playing match quarters and just waiting to keep it all in front of you and then run up and make the tackle. Well, when there's that much space there, we've seen this happen. Like, go back to the Pittsburgh game. So many of these games, when there's that much space, then you are in a bad way, and you don't want to be in that way with Geno Stone against Josh Allen. And but so you have, again, the one guy. What an unbelievable performance, though, by both quarterbacks in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk about, it was just elite playmaking, such a fun back and forth game. Everybody was on top of it, and a play here or there. That's what it ends up being, and that decides it.
Yeah, the Burrow touchdown pass to Chase Brown was incredible on the run. The zip he had on that ball, there was just there was so much of that. And that play, the 3rd and 15, it's like, if they just, the goal should be, even without a spy, just hem him in. Like, a completion is a win, because you're going to rally and you're going to tackle him. You can't just have your hair on fire and come flying off the edge and think you're going to get a sack and then watch him run past you to win the game.
Yep. How many times have we seen, though, that some impossible situation defensively and just a breakdown where they can't get off the field? It's like, we can go back through all these games. We talked about, Jay, I know you had stats on, the Bengals when they're leading by 10 at halftime. I saw you tweeting those out at halftime. I mean, they have been golden, but the one loss that they've had happened earlier this year against the Jets.
Yep.
A very Jetsy type of thing. Again, you feel like you have it under control. You were in control all game. You were up 10 at a half. You were up 10 in the fourth quarter, and you can't hang on. And disaster plays happen everywhere. It was, you're going to sit here in January and February, and you're going through mock off season, and then you just think about those two games that you had under control, games where you just needed to get off the field and end it and finish it, and couldn't do it.
And it wasn't just the Bengals stat leading by 10 at half. The Bills were 1-26 in their last 27 games when they trailed by 10 or more at half. And that's with an MVP at quarterback. It's just 10-point leads at halftime should turn into victories, and just everything worked against the Bengals today.
Sure did. All right, Joseph Toyota, drive of the game here. Our drive of the game is not going to be one drive, not two drives, but three drives. Three drives to start the game. The Bengals score 21 points. They go 7 of 7 on third down. They were just making every play. T. Higgins with some ridiculous playmaking. The ball in the corner for the touchdown. They were doing everything they wanted to, and it really had that feel of, oh, the Bengals are back. They're doing it. Like, this is a playoff team. This is a playoff team taking it to another playoff team with an MVP quarterback, and they were on it, man. Those first three drives specifically.
Yeah, and I keep seeing a lot of fire Zach and that type of stuff, and I thought he had them ready to play. It was a great game plan. I don't put this loss on Zach at all. Now, he is the head coach, and defense falls under his purview, but still, that I thought this was a really impressive way they came out, and those three drives, it just felt like, okay, this is what it looks like when there's not rust in the first half, like Baltimore was the week before. It's like, this is what it's going to look like the rest of the season. And if I do an honorable mention, I thought the first drive of the second half was really a big deal. I know so much happened after the game, and things could have swung one way or the other, but after that performance, to go 3 straight touchdowns to start the game, and then to start the second half with a 3 and out. And the second down play to T hits him right in the hands. It looked like he knew that they were going to come in, and he tried to snap it into his body too fast, and he almost ended up doing like a two-handed spike on the ground. And then Burrow overthrew Chase pretty badly on the third down. It's like, how does that happen? You start the game 3 straight touchdowns and then a 3 and out. That could have really been a big difference maker if they could have got points and really put the pressure on in the second half, what they already had a 10-point lead.
Yeah, for all the good they were doing, a few missed opportunities, both on offense and on defense, that makes such a big difference. Injury updates, milestones news. Jermaine Burton was suspended for this game, did not make the trip for a not injury-related issue, and the Bengals released a statement before the game that Burton is suspended. That will cost him $59,000, one game check. I don't know what else to say about this at this point, other than it's the same old stuff. It's the same old issues that they've had with Jermaine Burton, and the circus kind of goes on. I don't know if this is a suspension in precursor to something bigger that comes on Tuesday, or whatever. But clearly, it's beyond end of the rope stuff with this team and this guy. It just feels ridiculous that they're holding on to him at this point. What are you holding on to for? There's a second year trying to build trust. It's obviously not working, not happening. I hope Jermaine is okay. I don't know. No, I don't know what's going on with him. All I know is that it certainly feels like it's not worth keeping that guy around here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he was never going to play again this year anyhow. Like you said, the trust had been broken. I don't know why they're keeping him around, just to maybe save face for the pick, or you don't want him to go somewhere else and help another team, especially if you think you're in it. But it's just weird, the ankle injury before Baltimore. I mean, it's almost like he doesn't want to go on road trips, or he doesn't want to stand on the sideline for 3 hours in the cold because he knows he's not going to play. I don't know what he did to get suspended this time, but it felt like it was a last minute thing, something that happened on Saturday. And we'll probably get some more information this week, but you're right. It could be a precursor. It could be time where they finally just cut the cord and let him go.
Yes. The mini buy strikes again, Jay.
Unreal.
Oh, it is unreal. I don't know how to explain it.
I don't either. I mean, you're supposed to be more refreshed. You come back from a Thursday game, you get a weekend off. Especially this was a holiday weekend, get to relax a little bit. 0-11 in the game after a Thursday game for this team. This predates Zach. I mean, this goes all the way back to 2015 when they were undefeated. It's just, I don't know how to explain it either, but it's weird. I don't know that I have the bandwidth to do it for every team. It's not one of those filters you can just plug in to Pro Football Reference. You have to kind of go through and look at their schedule year by year and see how they did after a Thursday game. But 0-11, it's unreal. And look at, it was this similar. The last time was they beat the Steelers on Thursday night, and then the Jets debacle was the mini bye return, and then they have the huge game against Baltimore, and then today's, I don't know if you call it a debacle, but it was a blown double-digit lead, that's for sure.
It was. What's next? Bengals, Ravens. We talked about that happening next Sunday at Paycor Stadium. They have 3 of the last 4 games at home. They go Ravens, who lost today to the Steelers. So the Steelers now are 3 games up on the Bengals with 4 to play. The Steelers' road is obviously tougher. Bengals' playoff percentage is at 3%. According to the tracker. If they were to win next week, it goes to 6% according to the athletic tracker. So it's still slim, but you're banking on at this point, you're banking on a Pittsburgh collapse.
3 out of 4 they have to lose.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to sweep your way out, and this offense is going to have to carry you whatever it looks like. I mean, the Ravens continue to look broken, and losing to the Steelers today, you still have to find a way to beat them and then win all 4 of these games. It's slim. This one was the one that you so badly needed, and obviously it's essentially officially over next week, basically, if you lose to the Ravens. But this was the one that put you right there, and you'd be right where you wanted to be, where you're just going to go get some wins and keep pace. Not to be. So, yes, they are still technically alive. It is very, very slim. You're just going to need a Steelers meltdown at this point.
Yeah, they are not going to be in the hunt graphics on Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. They're an afterthought.
4-9 and clinched the first losing season since 2020. And so there's a lot that goes along with that. We will see how this team finishes. We will be there with you every step of the way. And we hope to see everybody at MGM on next Sunday. And come get some gear, come win some tickets. come join some graders, all of the stuff that is such a good time. We love doing the Christmas show, and we want to make sure we have a chance to give back to all of you that have supported us, whether it's to coming to our events or just following along. So hope to hear and see some of you at that one. All right. From Buffalo, Jay, I'm looking right now, and it is still a snow globe. It has not stopped snowing.
Jeez.
It just continues to just fall down. I mean, the flakes got bigger as the game went on. It felt like,
Yeah.
they just kept. In the second half, it cooled down a little bit, but it just is unrelenting, man. It just keeps coming. What a fun atmosphere, a fun game, but unfortunately for the Bengals, it ends poorly. All right, Jay, appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow. We'll have rewatch tomorrow as well, and all the stuff that comes with it this week. So everybody, have a good one. We'll talk to you later.